Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Q Lads channel. We are here for the quarterfinals of the Singapore Sevens. This matchup, the first of the four that we will be seeing. This one, Argentina, they will be taking on Australia. The next match, it is Fiji versus South Africa, followed by New Zealand, Samoa, and then the last game, it will be USA versus Ireland. But I hope you guys are all excited for this game. It is taking place in a very short moment. Currently, Kenya versus Japan is taking place, and at halftime, it was 12 points to 5. And they have just made their way into the second half. As you can hear, my voice a little bit rough at this stage. That might have something to do with the long amount of time that we spent live streaming yesterday. But hope you guys are all excited for this one. Looking through at the starting lineups and reserves for both of these sides. We will start with Australia, and that is going to be Nick Maloof, Henry Hutchinson, Ben Maher. Then from there, they have also got Josh Turner, Dietrich Roach, and Corey Tall and Matthew Gonzalez. So that is the Australian lineup. Now at Argentina, it is Joaquin de la Vega. Alongside him, it is going to be Rodrigo Izquierdo, Felipe de la Vega, also in the starting lineup. Gaston Raval, the captain. Then it is Felipe Del Mestre, Luciano Gonzalez, and Marcos Maneta. Now, those last two names that I mentioned can certainly cut a game open. And they are the two players that Australia will really have to shut down if they do want a chance of being able to win this one. Sabato, Jermaine Schultz, Santiago Verafeld, they are going to be coming off the bench alongside Tobias Wade and Augustine Fraga for the Argentine Los Pumas side. Maurice Longbottom, Stuart Dunbar, Henry Patterson, Michael Isley, and then Timothy Clements is there for Australia. We have got there. How are you? Says Ollie wasn't doing very well. My voice sounds a bit rough, but other than that, I'm completely fine. And I'm excited because we've got Sevens back for the first time in a few months, and now we're into the quarterfinals. We saw an upset last night, which was the fact that USA were able to beat the Blitzboks. So because of that, USA have the slightly, you call it the easier game, but it's still not going to be easy by any means of the words. And that is going to be their game up against Ireland that is taking place as the last quarterfinal game. But whoever wins this game, they move on to face the winner of Fiji versus South Africa. So it's not exactly an easy way to the final. And good start for day two. New members as well, says Paddy Wagon. It is indeed. I really hope it's not because they think that they will be able to see the coverage, though. I always worry that that might be why we get the new members around this time of the year. But at the end of the day, it is awesome to have two new people. I have soccer today. And hey, brothers, really excited for the quarterfinals, says Tessa. Which one are you looking forward to the most? New Zealand, Samoa, or South Africa versus Fiji? I feel like it's going to be one of the two. At the moment, we have actually got coverage in Sky cut out a little bit. But once they do get it back, we will be rearing to go. But we have still got that match taking place between Kenya and Japan. So there's no rush at all. But for me, Corey Tall, he's going to be an important one. He did seem like he was a little bit quiet in one of those first games that we did cover, which was Australia versus Samoa. Josh Turner really stepped up in that game, though. And Henry Hutchinson, when he gets the opportunity, he's going to be there. And also South Africa and Fiji, says Betty, and also both brother. Says Deslo. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty exciting one. And they are taking place just a little bit. In fact, that game's taking place in less than half an hour now, but they are a little bit behind due to the fact that Wales versus England went to extra time. In the end, though, the Welsh were the side that were able to get themselves a win in that matchup, and we have got South Africa versus Fiji going to be insane. Yeah, I don't know what to expect from that game, to be honest, because both sides could easily win it, but it's whether or not they can find that momentum to be able to do so. And at this stage, one moment, we will go like this. I'm actually going to take slight precautions, and that will be I will whip up it on my phone using a VPN just in case that it isn't going to be back on Sky. So where do we want to say we're from in the world? That's the big question. We're going to turn Romanian for a second because I know that Sebastian, he is able to watch the coverage in Spain, I believe. I believe in Spain you can watch the coverage. Or not Spain, sorry. Should we become Spanish? No, we'll become Romanian. There we go. Right, we'll see whether or not this works. Just because at the moment, and can you see the game at the moment? I cannot. So that is why I am getting a VPN up just so that I can watch it. If, I guess, worst comes to worst, I'll be able to watch it on YouTube through the World Rugby Sevens. And also we have the win, says Rosemary. This game is kicking off in a very, very short moment. And it should be a very exciting game to be able to watch. So what we're going to quickly do, we're going to go here. We're going to go here. Okay, Romania is not a country that they do have it available. Do you guys know what countries they do have it available? And that one in High Amish, hope you're all rested up. I'm a little bit of rest. And I have been told later on that pretty much George has said that you're not allowed to do the Champions Cup. You got to sleep because we got an early day start tomorrow. which is going to be a rough one. But so that means that I'll probably end up watching one of the Champions Cup games from my bed, and then the other one I will end up sleeping through. Oh, the coverage is back. Right, 30 seconds left in this game between Kenya and Japan. That is perfect timing, because currently, as long as the coverage sticks around for the rest of this, at the moment, Kenya and Japan, pretty close game. Currently, I will mention, with only the 20 seconds left of this game about to get underway, like I mentioned, they're a little bit delayed because of the fact that they did end up having that extra time fixture between England and Wales. But whoever was working on the coverage, they've done extremely well. Tell you what, Japan are doing extremely well. It's a foot race. Oh, he's been dragged down on the 22 there, and now trying to kick it forward. Hey, oh, that was very close. It's going to be a 22 dropout in that game. But then from there, we are into this game between Australia and Argentina. The winner of this goes on to face South Africa or Fiji. Not going to be an easy game at all. But at least you're going through to the semi-finals. The loser will face the loser of that game. That's also not going to be an easy game at all, I will mention. So pretty much whoever wins, whoever loses, they've got a tough next match. So you might as well win so that you can at least have the next match possibly working your way towards the final. And iPaddy and Novmum Tesla. There's us, there's David the Mod. Oh, okay, Japan is still trying to find themselves a draw. Wait, if they have a draw, that's going to ruin all the time zone or the time that the games are supposed to be starting. I'm currently, as we speak, delaying other live streams that I have got coming up in the future just because I know that they're going to be taking place a little bit later. Japan are going to score the try. They're going to make it a golden point game possibly if they can get this conversion over. That's going to be huge. If they miss that conversion, we're going into this game between Argentina and Australia. If not, this game's going to be even more delayed between Australia and Argentina. Well, that one today, David, Betty, and Novmum. And there as well, says Tesla and hello there. Says Betty to Novmum. But currently now the last game of these was going to be starting at around 5:30 p.m. New Zealand time. I believe now it's going to be around maybe 5:40. It's missed for Japan, and they do lose that game 12-10, which does mean now this next one will be taking place between Argentina and Australia very soon. And that is great news for our quarterfinals hopes. We'll have to wait and see how delayed the other games are later on, but we will just have to adjust accordingly to whatever happens for those ones. But the Singapore Sevens, I think I see the Blitz box in the background warming up, and they are a dangerous side, that is for sure, and a lethal side when it comes to the quarterfinals. They've won so many competitions recently, it is hard to count them. I believe it's about 6. And also, what time is New Zealand versus Samoa? At this stage, it will be kicking off. If you're in New Zealand time, it is going to be around about 5:15 p.m., but it could be just a little bit later. But we will be live on the channel for that one. And sorry, Amish, what was the result of that English versus Welsh game? It was actually going to golden point, and then Wales ended up winning it in golden point, so they were able to beat the English. Apparently, I shouldn't complain about someone blocking my view at the game. Blues vs Chiefs, when I paid for a ticket to see the game, according to one person, I was not supporting the team. And as I says Novmum, I mean, but if they're in your way, like, it's just one of those ones that I feel like was at the game. Like, people are very arrogant about, like, where they sit and whatnot, and just feel like they are allowed to make a starfish. And I was like, yeah, New Zealand in there, says Roman. So, yeah, somewhere around that 5:15 mark, maybe a little bit later due to a couple delays, as this game is now going to be taking place from here on, which does mean now I would assume South Africa versus Fiji will be delayed by another 5 minutes or so. I think they should have really allowed a bit more time for the quarterfinals, just in case something happened, because now, yeah, it's getting very confusing. But I'm going to quickly end up delaying that one to 4:50. I've got my thingy open, just changing the time of all of my live streams as we go. But now Australia, they will be kicking off this the quarterfinal here, and I'm shocked how well this new Samoa side, and it's with the new head coach. I was expecting them losing to England. Tell you what, English game was phenomenal for Samoa. They fired up to just another level. And I'm excited to see what they can do in the future, because it just seemed like they were literally, like, they hadn't been away for 2 years, looking at them the way that they were playing. But now this game underway, Australia have got possession. Henry Hutchison across to now Corey Toole, got a bit of acceleration as well. The quick man in the number 3 jersey, Josh Turner, now firing across to Roach. There's a man on the outside. If they can use him, and they do find him just there, it's going to be now right down the wing, Ben Maher. So hanging on to this one here for the Australians, and they've got long bottom of the bench in the later stages, which does mean that will certainly be a good option for them. Josh Turner, a couple quick steps. He's missed the tackle there, De La Vega. Now Nick Maloof finds the offload to Corey Toole. Little bit of the side shuffle. He's quick on his feet and he's gone straight through. And that is going to be the first try of the match for the Australians. Less than a minute in. And Australia, in the form of Corey Toole, do get themselves the tries. 3 tries in Singapore so far for that man. I know this isn't about rugby, but in the AFL Fantasy, like 17% bought in a ruckman who is a cash cow. And now he's going to get suspended. Plus, he didn't score well. And there's this guy. He's a 17% bought or brought in a ruckman who is a cash cow. I have no idea what that means overall, to be honest, but I assume it's along the lines of everyone really got behind a guy who signed, was it? And then it just didn't quite work out for them. This game, it should be a thriller, I reckon. And there says David, the mod, it is indeed going to be that way. And at the moment, they've won 3 out of 4 quarterfinals this season. Only loss was versus South Africa in Dubai. So Australia have a very good quarterfinals record, and we'll be looking to extend it here in this game up against the Pumas. Also says Japan missed the kick. They did. Because if they didn't, this one would still be going with Kenya versus Japan, and we would have been even later for the quarterfinals. But I think they allow some time at about 9 for the little bit of a rejuggle. But now it's going to be Luciano Gonzalez. Got that ball on the 22. I didn't trade him in a cash cow as a low break even, and they get a lot of cash quickly, basically, in there. Now passing it back across, it's going to be Raval. Off to Luciano Gonzalez, changes to reach and goes to the short side. Now a little pop pass up on the inside. Delmestre. Now back to Gonzalez, running it straight sideways, trying to pump those legs as he just always knows how to. Now a bounce pass into the hands of Marcos Moneta, the young Sevens player of the year. He gets back up to his feet. He's got insane acceleration, insane skills as well. Now Raval, the veteran, passes on the outside. Delmestre. It's a pass just a little bit too far ahead, and it's a 4 pass. That would have gone to De La Vega. And even the kick kept on being on the barrier. It was very annoying. His actual seat was way up the back. He was eventually told by another patron to go back to his seat. And also we've got that Fiji versus South Africa next. It certainly is. That is a huge match in the 7th circuit, because we did see South Africa's first loss just before. But at the end of the day, some losses just fire a side up to that next level. And that might have been the little loss that South Africa needed to really fire them up for the Singapore Sevens. Next week, we're going to be in Vancouver. Not literally. I will be probably in my lounge once again, but the background will say Vancouver. That is going to be taking place throughout the afternoon and the late evening here in New Zealand, but we will be covering that. There was a little knock-on on the ground there it was Josh Turner. And now inside of the 22, Los Pumas are going to have themselves another opportunity with the ball in hand. And do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be able to win this game? And also, while we're at it, the other 3 quarterfinals, first of which it is going to be Fiji versus South Africa. Second one, New Zealand versus Samoa. And then the third, USA taking on Ireland. And I say New Zealand on the same side, says Guy Broom. Luckily, we are not, which means that we could see a final between New Zealand and South Africa, or a final maybe between Fiji, South Africa, or not Fiji, South Africa, Fiji, New Zealand, Samoa, South Africa, all of these matchups. USA, South Africa, we could see that rematch. Could be the case. And now Roach, ball on the outside. Corey Toole goes. And once he starts accelerating, he's a very hard man to stop. Raval's going to try, but his legs just aren't quite moving quick enough. And Corey Toole does score another one for the Australians. Australia says Isaiah. And I'll say, that game is going to be a cracker. And there says David, yeah, I wish it wasn't only 7 minutes a half. I wish we got to see it for like a full 40. But sadly, in the format of sevens, it's such a great format because of how quick the games are, but it's also such a sad format because we only get quick games. I want to see either USA, South Africa, Australia, or New Zealand as the 2 finalists. And there, so this guy, that was a good run 4 from Henry Hutchinson, initially creating a little bit of crash ball, then down the wing. Corey Toole, as soon as you miss a tackle on him, with his acceleration, Raval tried his best, but he was never going to catch him from there with the angle that Corey Toole was creating, and that one's gone over. So now Australia leading this match 14-0. Corey Toole scoring both tries of this one, and Corey already earned player of the match. And I'll say, I'm poorly behaved kids from terrible parents. As I said, David the Mob, but that one has gone over. Series tries, At the moment, he is just behind Terry Kennedy, 25 for Corey Toole, sorry. I saw Jordan Sifo is there just behind him. France really struggled in this competition, but I believe that was because of the group that they were in. They were in a tough one alongside Fiji and also in there. Oh, that's a knock on by Australia. Also in Fiji's group, they did end up having, who do they have? I can't even remember. Oh, Ireland as the other team in that group. In that opening game of the six, I almost called it the Six Nations, the opening game of the Sevens, we did actually see the Irish beat the Fijians. And I was like, yowza. And there says Jack, welcome into the live stream, mate. Raval just about to feed this ball in now. Feeding this ball in. I can't use words at the moment. I'm too excited for this one. That's stolen in the breakdown or in the scrum by the Australians, but Argentina take it straight backs. Now trying to run it sideways. It's a penalty to Australia. Now they think about taking it quickly. Ma decides against it, and I think they're just going to slow this one down. They've got 30 seconds left of this first half. If you can preserve your energy and not burn too much of it heading into that semi-final, because at the end of the day, you're going to need it. You're going to be playing either Fiji or you're going to be playing South Africa. That's not going to be an easy game at all for either of these sides. So that is why they've got to really make sure they don't gas themselves out for this game when their next game is just a couple hours away. Now Roach running hard, finds the offload on the outside. Now Corey Toole with the step. He was trying to find the offload, but he has wrestled to the ground. It's a penalty there to the Australians. Taking the quick tap once again. It was Ma. Now Roach out to the captain, Hutchinson. He's decided he's going to try and run it straight sideways to go forwards. It's going to be Raval, though. He wins the penalty. No, he doesn't. Gives away the penalty for that one for not releasing. Now quick tap taken by Nick Malouf. Josh Turner. In fact, it's Ben Ma drops his head. They are working extremely hard here for Australia. It's another penalty. Oh, they got to be careful, Argentina. Repeated penalties against them here could lead to a yellow card. And that's the last thing you want in a game of sevens. 2 minutes of only having 6 men on the field. That creates so many gaps. I thought for a second Argentina had 8 men on the field, but I realized it was the touch judge who was slightly making his way out there a little bit on the far side. I was going to say he's marking up the cross kick very well, that touchy. Oh, okay. Roach has decided that he wants to go for the 3 points here. And no South Africa and New Zealand are not on the same side, Guy Broom. Yeah, that means that we could see it in the final. That's if all things go well for both sides. Kicked over from Roach. That will be halftime now, and the score is going to be 17-0 in favour of the Australians. So a great start to the match for them. And you'd have to argue from here they should be able to go on and get themselves a victory. But you never know. Argentina are a feisty side. Everyone counted them out of that bronze medal final at the Tokyo Olympics. And yet that was the game where they were down by 1 man. They didn't have Gassi and Raval. They had another yellow card, and they beat South Africa in that matchup. Now they're going to have to dig deep in this one. At the moment, opposition, really Argentina haven't had too many opportunities. Errors a couple, offloads a couple. Then other than that, it's been all in the hands of the Australians, and also Australia versus South Africa semi, and New Zealand USA semi. That could be the case for that one. So yeah, it's going to be a weird one, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see how it sits, but we will be covering the matches that are taking place more than likely for the 5th playoff games and the kind of 5th to 8th playoff. I'd say 7-0, not 17. Are they slacking a bit, are they? Yeah, they are. Okay, so they've only got 7-0. It's actually 17-0 to Australia, and they've got first half 10 minutes. That's really weird that they haven't been updating the score. Hopefully this is the only game that they do have a few technical difficulties for, but who knows? It's hard to tell, but hopefully it does update itself very soon. But it is 17-0 to the Australians. So just add a little 1. Take that 1 from the first half because that's now over. It's now going to be the second half in a very short moment. Put that 1 up there, and you're all good. 17. And also we have got there is the SMEs on tonight? Is the SMEs? Oh, the semis. I realized that it's just the wrong way around for the 2 middle letters. I was confused for a second, but the semis, they are going to be on tonight. I will let you know exactly what time they will be taking place. At the moment, New Zealand versus Samoa, it will be taking place in 33 minutes' time. And then the next game that is taking place, Fiji, that is going to be up against South Africa. What should be a very exciting one. But for the semi-finals, they are actually just around the corner. They're going to be tonight. And also almost need for you, need to manually draw the one And there's us, says Kai Bruin. Also, we've got their winners, the final. So the final is at 11:28 tonight. The semi-final, though, they are a little bit earlier. Vamos Argentina, says Peter there for that one. And the semi-final is 8:13 and 8:35. It's going to be another try for Corey Toole by the looks of it. He was just taunting the Argentine Marcos Maneta. And that is another try for the Australians. They're looking like they're going to be coming into their semi-final with a lot of form, which whoever they're up against, that will be quite an intimidating factor. But Corey Toole, his 5th try in the Singapore Sevens, 3rd in this match. He's got himself a hat-trick. And that is not the first hat-trick we have seen. I wonder whether or not he can match what we saw from the big Scotsman. And maybe he will be able to get himself 4 tries. And damn, he's fast. He's quick. He's very quick. As soon as he gets that stride going, he's extremely hard to stop. And Corey is a freak, says Tesla. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Sevens, they say that pace is everything. But also, when you've got that strategy and that offload game that he has, like, you just got an all-round package. And currently, he's sitting with the series tries. He's actually tied for the top with, it is Terry Kennedy. So you have to be careful, Kennedy, not to get overtaken here by Corey Toole. Currently now 4.5 events, and he's already got himself 26 tries. That is incredible for a strike rate, that is for sure. Currently now, it is going to be Dietrich Roach. Does kick that one off, trying to get it to go just the 10. It goes almost down on the full, and they're going back to halfway now. And also, Australia are currently on a 4-game series winning streak versus Argentina. So it's been a little while since Los Pumas have been able to get themselves a win up against the Australians, and I think that will remain for a little bit longer. And Australia on a roll, but still have some more teams to face. That is true. They're either facing Fiji or South Africa after this game. Isn't the New Zealand game at 5:10 cents? Get to the best. It is supposed to be, but they have had to delay it due to the other games getting delayed. And that one, okay, Hamish. And as I said, David the Mod, that one, and also, so yeah, pretty much it was going to be at 5:12. Currently, Fiji versus South Africa, that was supposed to kick off 2 minutes ago, but they're still waiting for this game to finish before the next one. But Henry Hutchinson, just a little knock on the ground by Gastian Raval. You can see he's frustrated. It's just not quite working out for his side currently. One moment, we will go like this. 7 and 13, couple subs being made here by the looks of it. At the moment, Gastian Raval, and also we've got their great, I'm in ISO now. So it gets you a close contact. So when it's the New Zealand game, it is going to be probably, I would say, if I was a betting man, I'd say about 30 minutes time, somewhere around there. It is just due to the delays of having the Golden Point game that did really slow it down just a little bit more. I'm just making sure everyone knows that the kickoff is going to be taking place relatively soon. And the Fiji game, currently 4.5 minutes left, family member. I see. I was like, Gigi Petty, it says because he is also in there. What Golden Point game? It was the one between Wales and England. So one of the earlier games that did take place that ended up going to Golden Point. I'm in ISO as well. Says Tesla now, Maurice Longbottom with a nice step. Going forward now. It's going to be ball on the inside, goes straight to Jermaine Schultz, who is doing extremely well to be able to mark up, currently not releasing. It's a penalty to Argentina once again here. Also who won, it was Wales in the end who did get themselves the victory over the English. Currently now, ball is available once again here for them. Jermaine Schultz going across to Gaston Raval. Kicks down behind Marcos Maneta. He's got pace, but so does Corey Toole. It's a foot race. He's been taken down, you'd have to argue. No. All it said it's a fair contest. Okay. Okay, no, double blow of the whistle. This might be trouble for Corey Toole. He might have done something a little bit cynical there. Okay, the officials have said that it's going to be fine. So Maneta goes. So it's, yeah, that's close to a penalty, and score is broken, says Betty. It is. They seem to really be struggling with, oh no, there we go. It's gone up to 22 now. The score was just having a massive problem. It was like, I don't know what to do at the moment. Currently, New Zealand versus Samoa, that will be the next game after this next one that we have got, which is New Zealand, which is Fiji versus South Africa, but that is taking place in 3 minutes' time. Now Argentina considering taking it quickly. Oh, they do take it quickly. And that was Australia caught napping a little bit. They were about to get set up for the line-out, not realizing that there was an opportunity for that quick throw. Jermaine Schultz now passes it back across. Going to be in the hands of the Argentines. And they do need to try and get themselves over the try line at least once in this game, give them a bit of confidence. It's a good turnover there from Australia, though. And now running forward. It's a good bit of pace shown. And now it will be Gonzalez scores the try. And Australia get themselves another. They are loving it at the moment. It is Gonzalez, Matthew Gonzalez, his fourth match try, or his fourth Singapore try, this current point in time. And also, I'm watching it on my TV. I think I'm in front of you. And there says Fitch. There is a possibility that that is the case because I'm watching on Sky Go compared to watching it on Sky, I guess. So that is a big change in that factor. Currently now Gonzalez goes over, and also Australia are on fire right now. And there says Tesla, they certainly are. And I see a New Zealand player in the background. He'll be watching closely going, geez, can we see the Aussies in the final perhaps? But that's gone over. And now 2 minutes left. Thanks, David. I'll try to be safe. And there, as I says Tesla. Now Gonzalez, he's had to really work hard for a spot on the seven sides. And also I am just doing this game on my YouTube channel, says Brandon. Well, that one, but now it is going to be kicked off by the mullet man himself, Stuart Dunbar. One of the more unorthodox haircuts that we have seen throughout this competition. It's going up, I'm coming back, as I says Brandon. Oh, it bounces just a little knock on from Australia, but there is still a minute and a half left in this game. Then we are transferring straight over to our next one, Fiji versus South Africa. And it will be the winner of Fiji versus South Africa. They will be going through to the final, or the semi-final, to take on the winner of this game, which at this point in time, you would have to say is going to be Australia. They've looked very strong in this one. Argentina, they will be facing either Fiji or South Africa in their semi-final, or their kind of semi-final for 5th to 8th, if that makes sense. Their playoff game for those ones. Currently now going for the scrum feed once again now. It is going to be fed in. What we will quickly do is we will go like this, and we will go like this. There we go. I'm just getting the lineups up for the next one. And also, if you had to pick between Argentina or Australia to play for, and there says Fish, I'll probably go Australia because it's closer, but Argentina, they've got a real passionate, like, kind of fan base for their seven side. There was a big hit. Oh, just straight stolen there on the ground. And it's absolutely brilliantly done. And at the moment, Australia have got this one back. Maurice Longbottom offloading it back across. Now Dunbar gives it across the roach, who's well and truly isolated. They do have to release him now on the ground, trying to turn it over, and Argentina have done just that. So they've still got the opportunity of being able to get themselves maybe one try throughout this fixture if they are lucky. It was a big shot from Clement right on the ball and just rips it off the man before he even got to the ground. Now Argentina, they've still got one more attacking opportunity here. See whether or not they can get the job done now. It's kicked in behind by Argentina. They will kick this one into touch, I would think. Well, it looks like Australia want to run it. Nick Malouf having a run. Now, the last thing you want is someone to get injured here. It's a penalty now to Argentina, and that is a mistake by Australia because now they're probably going to concede some points here. If they're not careful, they do, and it's a try against them. And now Maurice Longbottom, he is wondering why they did that because all it does is mean that everyone sees a try scored by Fraga to end this matchup between the two sides. But the kick is to come, and Argentina score the try. They got a bit greedy there, the Australians, and it did cost them. Now, nonetheless, we will be transferring over to our next live stream. That is going to be Fiji versus South Africa. We will be going right over to that into this very moment. So we'll see you all in a very short moment. That one's missed for Argentina. But thank you all very much for tuning in. We will see you all in a very short moment for the next one.